Welcome to the Rialto Marketing Podcast. Today's episode is a revenue acceleration series interview where we talk to seven-figure B2B professional service firm owners and executives that are actively trying to grow their business and get to the next level. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly so that you can learn from their experience. Hi, I am Tim Fitzpatrick with Rialto Marketing, where we believe you must remove your revenue roadblocks if you want to accelerate growth, and marketing shouldn't be difficult. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in today. I am really excited to have Adam Burke from Quest Technology Management with me today. Adam, welcome and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Tim. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to dig into this with you, man. Before we jump into the heart of the interview, I want to ask you a few rapid fire questions if you're ready to jump in with both feet.
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay, man. Very quickly, what do you do? How long have you been doing it?
I am Vice President of Partnerships and Sales, so I help oversee our partnership arrangements and our channel sales here at Quest Technology Management, and I've been building this practice and division of our company for the last 14 years.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah, a couple.
What's the most important lesson you've learned in those 14 years?
Most important lesson for me in the last 14 is mainly to kind of check your ego. Don't respond with the first thing that comes to mind when you're building a long-term partnership. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be bruises. I think patience really helps, and then write the email, delete the email, and then pick up the phone.
Yeah. Man, I think we've all been there. And I think we've all sent emails or communicated in a way when we should have just waited and took a break to come back with fresh eyes. So thank you for sharing that, because that's a fantastic piece of advice. Now, I mean, look, in 14 years, you've seen a lot of ups and downs. We know that growing a business can be challenging. It can be hard. Do you have any kind of mantra or something motivational that you say to yourself or share with your team to push through those tough times?
Yeah, sometimes things that are perceived as a setback at the time, they can be disappointments, they can be missed opportunities, they could be failed initiatives, whatever it might be. I've failed at a lot of things. They often, if you give yourself a little bit of grace and patience and just wait to see what happens next. And as long as you're consistently improving, the failures are actually some of the best, I hate to use the cliche, but they're some of the best learning opportunities. No one learns anything from, nailing a huge contract. You high five, you pop the champagne a little bit, have a good time or whatever, but you don't learn from that. When you really learn and you really can level up for the next iteration, the next phase, the next cycle, whatever is going to happen, you get that through the failures. So I'm not saying embrace the failure, but I'm a military guy. I come from a military background, so embrace the suck fest. Embrace the suck when it hurts. It's where you get better.
Totally agree. So tell us a little bit more about Quest. What do you guys do? A little bit more about the history of the company, because you're pretty. How many employees do you guys have at this point? You're a fairly large company.
We have a little over 240 employees at this time. Okay. So good sized firm. We've been in business for about 42 years. So my parents actually started the firm in 1982 and out of their garage. My father was a regional sales rep in California for an IBM competitor back in the day called Sperry Univac. And he saw the opportunity to sell materials and supplies to organizations that had historically acquired mainframes and large computers from, the big iron shops.
Yeah.
There was a miss in the market for helping them with round reel tape and floppy disks and printer ribbon. And I know I just lost half the audience that doesn't even know what those things are. But those were all in my garage growing up as a kid. And we supported the Northern California market. They built it out of the house. And then over the years, our legal name is Quest Media and Supplies, because, media diskettes and that type of thing. And we just kind of kept moving with the market as the market kept changing. PC revolution. We were an early Cisco partner in the 90s when all that came out in Northern California, and we kept building that, value-added reseller practice. So we went from PCs to IP-based phone systems to helping operate, manage, and support people's data centers. So started with some banking clients and helping organizations monitor logged events on their environment, and then just kind of kept moving with the market where people were looking for help. And 42 years later, there's I got 4 other siblings in some way involved in the business. We have a couple of 100 employees, and we've grown to a national and nationally recognized managed service MSSP. Continue to be afar as well.
So MSS, you're selling MSSP services, MSP services. You're reselling software and hardware still at this point?
Yeah. So our main approach and how we try to communicate to customers and to partners is we're an IT company, and how can we help? So where are you struggling? Where would you like some assistance? People have great partners. People have people that they trust. They long-term relationships is the name of the game in this business. You got to work with people you can trust. So we're not always out there trying to outcompete organizations that are maybe already involved with a company, but we can help out in a lot of different areas. So our main go-to-market is, how can we help you deal with something that you can't accomplish on your own, or you don't have an existing partner there who can address it for you?
Yeah. So you're looking to help them fill gaps, no matter how narrow that gap may be.
Yeah, I mean, we help with product placement and evaluation and resell. We help with consulting and design and policy creation. There's a lot of regulations in IT now. It's not hyper regulated. It's not like, we're not, municipal power grids yet, but there are regulations getting forced down on people. So we help people draft those policies. And then we help operate, right? So we are an operational unit that can help manage, maintain, and support IT. So there's a lot of different aspects where people need help. We always say there's not the right answer. It's what are you looking for help with? What challenges are you aware of? And where do you want help, really?
Yeah. Got it. So just curious, when you graduated from college, were you thinking that you were going to get into the family business, or how did that come about?
Yeah. So I always, I get to work with my father every day, which is, it's pretty cool. And I always looked up to him as a leader in our community and our family, and obviously, wanted to work with him. I took a little bit of a segue because I kind of wanted to, I went in as a freshman in college, September of 2001. So the world kind of changed a little bit that month. And I, at that point, decided, hey, I'm going to take a little segue out of jumping right into the family business after college. And I went the ROTC officer route for a commission in the United States Army, and did some time as a military officer, always knowing that I wasn't going to be a career guy. I wasn't a very good officer, but I wasn't a career. Definitely not a career political animal or officer. Just not my style. But I always knew I'd come back. But at that time, the world was the world's always on fire. Yeah. So that was a brief stint there. But yeah, I always knew I wanted to be part of the family business. Yeah. Absolutely.
Here's the reason I ask. I worked with my dad for, 10 to 12 years. The years are kind of melding a little bit, but I never thought that I would get into the business, but I fell into it. And, you touched on something, working with your dad. It's an amazing experience. For some, it's not. For me, it was an absolutely amazing experience. And I got to see sides of my dad that I didn't on the family side of things, and that really opened my eyes to a different side of him that I really respect. So I think it's cool when we can have experiences like that, whether it's with your mom or your dad or anybody else in your family. So um, I'm glad that you're able to share a similar experience.
Yeah,
Um,
it's awesome.
yeah. So as the VP of Sales and Partnerships, you're responsible for overseeing partner growth. What types of partners do you guys focus on and why? And then how do you approach partner development?
hmm Yeah. So, b- been building our partner channel for 14 years now, and a lot of lessons learned in that time as far as who to work with and who to target and how to support your partners. Because really, every partner is different. They all have their strategy, right? And um, we're really big on, hey, that's your strategy, that's great, here's ours. If you put the Venn diagram up, where are the overlapping sectors where we align and we can help each other do more.
Yeah.
A lot of the first couple of years in the channel, it was kind of, you almost kind of got into these like debates, like, no, this is the right way to do it, or this is the right way to do it. um, that's kind of a first signal for us. Like, if we're looking at pipeline for partners, if someone's telling us how, and this is for our vendor partners, this is for our reseller partners, this is for someone who sells our services, or for people who we're going to sell their product or their licensing or their capabilities. If there's a mandate or a perception of there's a right way to do it and you need to do it our way, that's usually I'm not saying that's a red flag, because there are people in every organization that believe that. But if that's the mantra across the board with every person we're engaging there with, then it's probably best to extract ourselves, or maybe find the one part where they're looking for help.
Yeah.
So the main thing when we're looking for partners is, hey, is there a collaborative opportunity to help each other here, where we can meet each other as peers, attacking a specific objective? Like, hey, you have something to bring to the table, I have something to bring to the table. Can you screw me over? Can I screw you over? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We can both. You can burn a bridge every day if you want to.
Yeah.
But if you both mutually, like, if you can engage as peers, in a win-win scenario. There's a great Michael Scott bit from The Office about win-win, win-lose. I'm sorry, every time I say win-win, I'm a big Office guy. I just revert back to my Michael Scott impersonation. But if you can go back, if you can find a win-win opportunity with that partner culturally, that's the partners. Those are the partners we're looking for. And those can be consultants, those can be other MSPs, those can be VARs. Some of our best partners in that, from a national sense, are large firms that you would look at them, billion-dollar organizations, and you would say, well, aren't they like your competitors? And absolutely, they absolutely are. We absolutely do compete with them in certain aspects of our business, but there's eight other operational units within Quest that can help execute on a project for that company. We'd be stupid to step on their toes and resell some hardware to one of their clients
Yeah.
when we're helping them operate in areas that, for whatever legal or contractual reason, their lawyers and their public companies aren't comfortable, supporting a telecom integration project in, Peru and Perth, Australia, but they want to sell Cisco hardware to, a Florida-based company.
Yeah.
Cool. Keep the Florida-based company. We'll help you with the hard, hairy stuff, and we'll both make money.
Do that. So your partners, it sounds like sometimes they might just be referring you business. Sometimes they might be bringing you in on a
Mhm.
project. Are you ever doing more like white label kind of behind the scenes support as well, or what does that look like?
Yeah, great question. So we looked at the white label stuff, and we looked at doing that. And there are some firms out there in the channel who have done that successfully. We've only done that in a couple areas where there is not human interaction with the end user required, right?
Okay.
So if it's a very, if it's very, very, very productized, like we offer a backup service. It's a multi-tenant service. It's a very well-known brand out there. A lot of MSPs use it. We host it at about 4 different sites in the United States. There's one aspect of that backup technology that I could sell like 100 terabytes to an MSP, and they could carve that up to their clients, and their clients would never know we exist.
Got it.
We're just providing them a certain software platform and a disk target in our cloud environment. We operate out of our data center.
Yeah.
That's where we had success there from a white label perspective. What we don't go into is things that are more like help desk services,
Yeah.
or patching or updating, or things where our team has to directly interface. It's hard to pretend you're XYZ brand and this brand, and it's just, it gets messy. We've tried to do it, but what we've been very successful doing is being what's called a trusted delivery partner or service provider partner, where if the partner wants to manage that billing on their paper, we put in some limitations on that. There needs to be some requirements because we have to build some systems. So there are some minimums there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done that before. We're like a subcontractor, but the customer knows, hey, my VAR partner that I buy all my switching, routing, and firewalls from, they don't have a managed service offering yet. They haven't got there yet, but they have this trusted partner Quest. They can bill me annual cost model for Quest to support my phone system.
Yeah.
That they sold me, right? So we're fine with those kind of arrangements. But yeah, we do referrals. We do powered by models.
Yeah.
And very limited white label.
Are you guys with referrals where it's just a straight referral? Are you guys paying referral fees for that kind of stuff, or how do you approach that?
Oh yeah. So lesson learned in the channel. I didn't know what a technology service broker was. There are large technology service brokers out there. So we work with Telarus, Avant, Intelisys, and AppDirect as a supplier, and Bridgepoint too. And I didn't know what those were for the first 5 years of my practice with Quest. And then we finally figured out oh, these guys hold the paper and they have sub agents who work underneath them and hold the client relationships. So yeah, we do millions of dollars in referral payments every month for paying the sub agents out there. So guys and gals who hang up their own shingle and want to be technology advisors or trusted advisors or consultants, they would typically, hold a relationship with 1 or 2 of the TSEs. And we're a supplier in that ecosystem. And they would say, oh, you guys are you need help with, Cisco, Meraki, or Fortinet or whatever. Quest has got a great team for that. They bring us in. We sell the end user directly on whatever solution they're looking for help with.
Yeah.
And then we pay the residual back every month, or on one-time transactions. So yeah, that's a very quickly growing industry right now. That referral agency based is extremely fast, rapidly growing.
So, Adam, I want to go back to one thing that you touched on. You're looking for overlap and where you align with your partners. When you said that, are you referring to just culture, their thought process, how they go about business?
Yeah, well, we're looking for some kind of alignment in that space. Now we're not going to see the world the same way everyone else does. 95% of the sales people we engage with kind of believe that if someone's doing something, it's a good idea to go in there and convince them they should do it with you.
Yeah.
We don't believe that.
Yeah.
So I know that 9 out of 10 people I'm talking to are going to look at me a little bit funny when I actually share kind of our core beliefs as far as how we can help people.
Yeah.
So I don't try to convince anybody that's the right path. Hey, we're doing about 300 million. We've been around for 42 years. We're privately owned, and it works for us. Not saying you have to go along with it, but sure.
Yeah.
So, but what we are looking for is the kind of mutual respect of, okay, Quest, here's an opportunity that we think you can help us with. Can we go in there and attack it together using your resources? We love those kind of partners, and we know that 9 out of 10 people are not going to see the world the same way we are, but there's always overlap. There's always like, hey, Quest, I don't like the way you sell data center. I don't like the way you sell application development, but you have a great cabling and infrastructure team that I really like the way they deliver wireless as a service across, national deployments.
Yeah.
Can you help me with this national deployment for wireless? Yep. 100%.
Yes.
Let's get to work. Yep.
Yeah. So you're looking for some alignment from a strategic standpoint, but then after that, it's where are the gaps, right? Where are the gaps that they have that you can help with, and or vice versa, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we qualify opportunities with partners the same way we qualify opportunities with customers, and it's very simple. It's not easy to do. Sticking to it is very challenging. So, brief story. I came from an Army background. I was an infantry officer, and our job is to achieve the mission, no matter what the mission is, within the rules of engagement. Here's your left limit. Here's your right limit. Go take that hill. Go figure out. Go achieve that objective. So that mindset that's a military mindset that's ingrained in you as an officer. Achieve the objective and take care of your people. That transitioning into a sales role is a totally different mindset. Like, yes, you're still going to achieve the objective, but the objective isn't necessarily winning that one deal. It's a much longer term strategy. And the way we qualify is, does the customer have a pain that they're aware of? Do they have a trouble or challenge or pain point in their environment that they're aware of? We do a lot of cybersecurity. There are organizations that are hosed 6 ways from Sunday that they don't believe. Right? I just got a fake PO for $500,000 for 200 laptops from a firm, publicly traded firm, that has organizations cyber squatting on fake domains that are rerouting traffic to their domain and spoofing their emails and sending out fraudulent POs, trying to get VARs like us. Just trying to get people like us to get a fake PO from a mimicked site and drop ship equipment using a freight forwarder that is then intercepted and stolen by the bad actors, basically stealing someone else's brand. But rerouting traffic. We call this company, we let them know, hey, here's 12 different sites, a couple in Lithuania, a couple in, Eastern Europe, a couple in, and they're like, oh yeah, we got it under control. It's like, well, here's a fake PO that they almost got past us, our bank, and our distributor, and almost stole $500,000. Oh, okay, yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. Do you guys need any help with that? No, we got it under control. Okay. So rule number 1, they have a pain point that they're aware of. So that organization is probably hacked, probably breached right now. They're probably somewhere in their 6 to 9 month window of when they actually figure out they're in trouble. But you can't convince someone of that. And I see a lot of partners burn tons of energy trying to convince people of things.
Yeah. Here's how it was put to me this way, right? We personally, this happens to us all the time, right? We're aware of various problems that we have personally and professionally, but just because we're aware of the problem doesn't mean we're going to do anything about it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So from a sales and marketing standpoint, they have to be aware of the problem, but then they actually have to want to do something about it. And if they don't want to do something about it, we can't convince them of that.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Now there's one other thing, and we're spending a lot of time on this partnership stuff, but I think there's a lot of really good stuff that you're sharing here. My viewpoint, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I just love your input on this because you've been doing this for 14 years. I think a lot of people approach partnerships with a very short-term mindset. And I think partnerships can take a very long time to develop. What have you seen in your experience?
Yeah, if you're not willing to spend at least 2 years with an organization, developing, relationships and understanding who they are and what's important to them, and invest in that, then don't
Don't
get
do it.
involved don't get involved in the channel. Don't do it. Just don't. It's just because a lot of people will they'll sign up a partner agreement and they'll be like, well, where are the sales this quarter? It's like, well, guys, they don't even know what you do. They don't even know how you can help them. Like, have you spent time in their office? Have you visited their people? Like, have you got to know um, um, have you got to know their procurement people? Have you got to know their marketing people? Have you got to know their ownership structure? Like, do you know how they're incentivized to do business? Like, do you know how they pay their bills? That's some of the first questions we ask our partners. It can come off as a little a little abrasive. I mean, I know we're in Northern California. I know we're in Northern California, but we're not like Silicon Valley, Northern California. We're kind of
Yeah.
we're part of the California. It's a little bit more like Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, well, hey, how do you make money?
Yeah.
That's something we ask every vendor, every partner. How do you make money? How are you incentivized to engage with our company? And I know how my partners make money that bring me into deals. I'm paying them. I know exactly how they make money.
Yeah.
I know what's important to them. I know why they really, really like to sell, unified communications versus maybe, a certain other type of one-time resale product purchase.
Yeah.
I know them. We know the margins. You don't have to overcomplicate it. But back to your question around partnerships, if you're not willing to take at least 2 years and, significantly invest in the people you're partnering with to understand their organization,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah. And it's in those 2 years, and even after that, it's consistent touch points, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's staying in front of those people on a regular, consistent basis, because relationships aren't built overnight, right? And so
No. Yeah,
it's
we
it's a
had
lot of
one,
work.
I had one vendor rep. He did an amazing job. He worked for a backup company. And I told every other vendor and every other partner who tried to get to be a part of our business, hey, he would come and hang out at headquarters, every week for a day and just be there, and he'd work from there, and he'd just get FaceTime and he'd meet people, and our accounting people who had nothing to do with his long-term, you know, quota or anything like that. They knew him, like they said hi to him, like he was part of, he invested in the partnership from that personnel standpoint. And that's what, when I'm working with my channel managers and our team and getting out there in front of people, like, you have to go to the events, you have to go say hello, you have to drop by, you have to do the little things, and you have to stay in front of them. Because I think a trap I fall into this, like, well, of course they're going to be thinking about me when this opportunity comes up. Like, no, they're not thinking about you. Their client is not thinking about you. They're thinking about taking their kids to soccer practice, or what they're doing for the weekend, or how they're going to pay their mortgage, or, what they're thinking of a million things. They're not thinking about, hey, Quest could really help me out with cybersecurity. I should give Adam a call. Like, no, they're not. They're just not. Yeah.
I want to shift gears a little bit, because I know you guys have an extensive product and service offering. So, my guess is there's a lot of cross-sell, upsell opportunities for you. How do you go about doing this? Because I think there are a lot of missed opportunities for businesses because they're just not thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not top of mind. What kinds of things are you guys doing for cross-sell and upsell?
So we're not, I don't mean this as a negative statement on anyone who's a salesperson or a rep or a partner. But what we're not doing is we're not waiting on the sales rep, partner, or person to figure out the opportunity that they're sitting in. Like you have partners and reps and organizations that are sitting in a gold mine, but they're so afraid of messing up the little gold nugget that they're dealing with that they won't pick up the pick and just like scratch the wall next to them. Just with a simple, just ask, like we tell this all the time, just ask if they need any help in that area or what are they doing in that area. And would you like to talk to an expert? So we tried that for a long time. Hey guys, gals, here's some incentives to cross-sell. So we still do that. So I incentivize my sales agents and partners. Hey, here's some promotions to cross-sell. We'll give you 2 times the monthly recurring revenue for a cross-sale from an existing account. So if you bring us an account and sell them a cybersecurity offering, and then you cross-sell into another managed service offering, I'll pay you 2 times the monthly recurring revenue plus the normal commissions, right? So if it's a $5,000 contract, I'll write you a check for 10 grand. Here you go, plus your normal commission. Spoiler alert, still not doing it. But but what does work, so not to be negative, but that's
okay.
People are comfortable with what they're comfortable selling, and sometimes they don't like to get out of that swim lane. So what we do as an organization and what's been effective for us is telling the story about areas where you've helped other organizations. And you do that either through, we call them like business capability reviews. So we'll get on with an organization, and sometimes it has to be someone different than the day-to-day operator in that account. So it's a service manager or a sales rep or someone in there. Bring in someone else. I do about 10 of these a week. I come in, obviously you thank them for their business, thank them for the partnership. I'll use a partner as an example, someone who sells our stuff. High five on some recent wins. Hey, great job with this account. Great job with this account. Hey, by the way, just wanted to let you know, here are 4 adjacent areas that are just to the north or south of what you're doing for your client today. And here's a couple examples about how other partners have executed in taking a complex wireless solution with cabling and infrastructure and day 2 managed support. And here's how they bundled it all together and delivered it to their customer on a monthly recurring charge. And here's how they made money doing that. So you share a story around capability using someone other than their direct sales rep or someone who's involved in there. And because it has to be their idea. We have this joke. We have a product, we have an offering called Quest Flex, where we will take the products, the services, the day 2 support, the actual operations, we'll bundle it all together and we'll deliver it as a service. So think about, and we've been doing this for about 20 years. So think about when you roll out a managed wireless deployment, you have multiple components that go into that. You have the cabling, you have the actual hardware, the switching, the installation, the telecommunications, like the transport circuits that go into that. And then you usually have to work with like a general contractor or someone like that to actually get access to the site to do the build. A lot of different moving pieces. Those are usually like 3 to 4 different firms to come in and do that. You bring in a cabling group, you bring in a hardware group, and then you bring in a managed services group to manage it day 2. What we do and what we try to tell a story about is, hey, we can take all those different components, bundle them together, and deliver them as a service. So we call that Quest Flex. And I'll tell that story 100 more times this week around how you take multiple components, put them together, and deliver it as a service. It doesn't matter until 2 months from now. I'm talking to Bob, the IT guy. Bob, the IT guy, comes to my rep, Brian, and says, hey, Brian, I was thinking, you guys have a cabling division. You guys sell hardware and you guys manage service. You guys provide managed services. Is there a way you could bundle that together and deliver that as a service to me? and Brian will kind of, have a little bit of a spark there for a second and be like, let me talk to the team. I think we could work something out. Like it's just the way it goes. And has to be their idea before it becomes real. But just by telling those stories and doing those capability, you can do it through video. I find it best to do it in person or over a virtual session and just say, hey
Yeah.
guys, here's a little bit of our story. Thanks for the partnership. Here's how we can help you. But you got to do it. Like, here's the hard part. You gotta consistently, you gotta create a methodology to do it consistently, because you don't know when that transition is going to happen. You don't know when that's all of a sudden it's going to spark as their idea.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest vulnerability in our strategy, is if we don't stay in contact with people and we don't stay in front of them, when that transition or when that incident happens, if we're not there and available, or they're not thinking about, hey, Quest just told me they've helped out with something like this in the past, that's our biggest vulnerability.
Yeah. It's, what's coming top of mind here is, and I love this, so thank you for sharing that, because it's cross-selling and upselling. It's like, you have to have, like you said, a methodology, a system, a process, because it's not something you just do once. It's something that you have to do over and over and over again. It's like, as you're sharing this story, I'm thinking about, like when I was in wholesale distribution, man, there were clients that bought stuff from us every week that we're having a conversation with them and they're like, oh, I didn't know you do that. I'm like, dude, you're in here every freaking week. You don't know that? But it's because, like you said, they're not thinking about it. And it's our job to just gently but relentlessly beat that drum over and over again. It's not, this hard push. It's just having those conversations over and over and over again. Or they're, in distribution, when they were in our location and we're loading stuff into the back of their van, and we see that they got other products from other suppliers, we just start asking questions. Oh, hey, I see you're buying, XYZ wire. What do you like about it? Why are you buying it? And just start those conversations and just plant those seeds. But you can't just do it once.
No, it's a process, and it's something you build over time, and then you're curious about it and you're helping them out. And it's not, like you said, it's not a hard pitch. It's not a hard push. Like, hey, you need to do this, or
right,
you should be buying from me. It's, I don't know. I get excited talking about areas where we've helped people and kind of helped them with an outcome. So like, really, I'm always trying to recruit partners and people who are excited about what they're doing and want to tell stories.
Yeah.
Because it's contagious. Like, they're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. You guys can do that. Like, oh man, okay, let me talk to this person. I think we're looking for help in this area. We haven't figured out a way to do this yet. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, and people can pick up on that if you like what you're doing.
Yeah, I love it. Adam, you've shared a ton of good stuff, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do it. I want to ask you one last question, which is, knowing what you know now, is there anything you would do differently?
As far as doing anything differently, I don't. The business model that we're in right now is changing so fast. Yeah. It used to be every 3 years, new iterations, but with things that are happening right now, I don't know if there's anything I would have been done differently. I know there's a lot of mistakes that we've made, building our channel and our partner program. But we've learned from those, and that's kind of improved our system. So yeah. I don't know if I would have done anything differently. I probably maybe wouldn't have hit send on a couple of those emails we talked about earlier. But yeah, but it would have been great to get involved in the TSB world a little bit earlier. We were pretty early. We got involved in the distribution model in 2017 and 2018. It's about 6 years ago. Yeah. But it took us a long time to figure out how to distribute our services at scale, which took a little while. So if anything, I would have got involved a little bit earlier in the TSB world.
Yeah.
So
Where can people learn more about you, Adam?
So questsys.com. If you want to check out partnerships with Quest, we have a partner tab there. We have a partner portal as well, but there's no username and password. So just log into it, check it out. Got a lot of content there as well as far as our partnerships. So check us out at questsys.com and the partner tab, or I'm on LinkedIn as well. So love to chat.
Cool.
We'll
make sure both those links get in the show notes so that people can connect with you. I appreciate you taking the time. This was a great conversation, and thank you for sharing your experience and your learning lessons along the way. Those of you that are watching, listening, I appreciate you doing so as well. If you want to connect with us, you can do that over at rialtomarketing.com or over at revenueroadblockscorecard.com. You can identify which of the 9 revenue roadblocks are slowing down your growth. Takes less than 5 minutes. Tons of value there. So go check that out. And until next time, take care.